Greetings, brethren. Hausburger Donkey here, and I am still working on the GIs, the heavy weapons. So I have a bunch of bazooka teams and stuff that I'm working on. Currently, I can't really do too much because I'm very busy. I have a big appointment coming up on Monday, and I can't concentrate on painting miniatures right now. So yeah, they'll probably just keep sitting here until, I don't know, Monday, Tuesday, and then I'll continue on them. And they should be done really quickly. I'm very much anticipating that I'll be done with all the heavy weapons teams before the next weekend, because it's just not a lot of work the way I'm painting them. But yeah, so I have 3 bazooka teams. I have a 80mm, 81mm mortar. I painted on the helmet a little bit. I have one little 60mm mortar. And each of these weapons came in that heavy weapons box 3 times. So it's definitely more set up for something like Flames of War or Battle Group, or, you know, one of these larger scale miniature games than it is for bolt action, because I have so many spares now that I'm really not gonna need, but oh well. Then I have some 30 cal machine guns, and I have one Browning machine gun, the old school 1919, because one of these broke. And yeah, so I couldn't really use a third one. So I was just thinking, you know what, this also makes a good light machine gun in sort of a late war scenario, and I think that's okay, because these will mostly be used for an Ardennes forest offensive kind of thing. So I think it's fine that they have a sort of a, oh, we don't have enough machine guns, well, just get something, we have this lying around sort of thing, you know. But there is one thing I want to talk about. I also have a 50 cal. And, you know, with the 50 cal, it's the most egregious, but I don't know if you can tell just by looking at the 30 cal on this team, but the scale is so off on this, it's not even funny. Again, it doesn't come across quite as well on the 30 cal, but it sure does on the 50 cal. Look at this ridiculous anti-tank gun that these guys have. I mean, look at how long this is. It's absurd. And the funniest thing about this is that, you know, this isn't across the range, because as I think I showed them last time, I also have some tanks now, this being an M5 Steward, who I'm not sure might also be too small. Like, I'll show you in a second why. But the M5 Steward also comes with a 30 cal. And this is the 30 cal on the M5 Steward, and this is the 30 cal for the infantry. It's the same gun, right? Same machine gun. Look at that. It's kind of hard to put them truly side by side, but like, you see how just the difference in the thickness of the barrel? It's crazy. And it's even more egregious with the 50 cal, because I also have a Sherman now. So the Sherman, all of these models are from the same company, remember, right? And it's supposed to be the same scale. So the Sherman has a 50 cal on the turret, and just look at it compared to this infantry 50 cal. I mean, isn't that ridiculous? And clearly, when you know, this 50 cal on the turret is the right scale, right? Maybe even a little bit too. No, actually, no, it's the right scale. Look at that; it's about as long as a man, you know. Whereas this thing is, I mean, there's no, like, the reason there's 3 guys on a 50 cal team is because one guy carries the gun, the other one carries the second guy carries the whatever, the thing that it sits on, and the third guy carries the ammunition, right? Because usually in a 30 cal team, the gunner carries both the the gun and the thing it sits on, whereas the ammunition carrier only carries the ammunition. But you need a third man in a 50 cal team, because it's just so heavy. But there's no way anyone is carrying this by himself. It's ridiculous. And, you know, usually I'm not too upset about these sort of things. Like, you know, when it comes to 28mm miniatures of different manufacturers and they're slightly out of scale, and, you know, one has a bigger rifle than the other that's slightly bigger. That stuff doesn't bother me that much because you're not going to see it on the table. This difference you are going to see on the table. I mean, this sitting on the table looks absurd. I mean, this doesn't look like an MG anymore. This looks like an anti-tank gun. I mean, you know, this easily is as large as like a what is the small I forget what the small American anti-tank, but let's say a Pak 38, right? This is about the size of a Pak 38. It's just silly. And again, I think the tanks are in scale, but I'm also not entirely sure because of the infantry weapons being so ridiculously out of scale. I'm not actually sure if the Sherman is to scale with the M5 Stuart. I will admit I'm not enough of a treadhead to really sort of realize that. You know, like, is this a realistic size? I don't know. But yeah, I don't know. Just a small video I wanted to make, I guess, about this, because I'm kind of like, I was happy with the figures until I got the heavy weapons, and it's not all of them. I think the mortar, I mean, maybe a bit too big for a 60mm mortar, but it's okay-ish. It doesn't look, you know, crazy. The 80mm mortar I think looks fine. The bazooka, definitely a bit too big as well. At least a bit too girthy. But again, I think it's still fine. It doesn't look overly out of scale. And also, by the way, the Browning is totally fine. Like, I mean, compare this to the 30 cal, which is a much smaller machine gun. Like, this is fine, right? So the Browning machine gun actually in scale. It's just the 30 cal and the 50 cal which are completely not in scale. Oops. Yeah. Very disappointing, I will say. It's fine for this project. Like, I'm not gonna be, you know, overreacting, because I'd still rather paint these hard plastic Soldier Company figures than paint bendy plastic, you know, Revell or Italieri figures, because I'm sorry, I no. Bendy plastic is not something I am going back to. But yeah, I don't know. I'm a little disappointed. I wish, yeah, I don't know. It's fine, I guess, because I also didn't pay very much for the infantry for this project. I mean, the tanks were definitely the most expensive bit. A 3-pack of each of these is about 23 euros, which is fine. I mean, you know, for 3 tanks, it's actually more than fine, especially for the Shermans. I think it's because, you know, this is a sizable tank. The keen-eyed amongst you might also realize that this isn't a historically accurate Sherman, because I couldn't. For some reason, it's really hard to get these kits in Germany. I've realized not a lot of online stores have them, and the ones that do don't have everything. And yeah, so I had to get the box of it's an M4A4 Sherman / Firefly kit. So it's more meant for the British, where you just make Fireflies out of them. And obviously M4A4s weren't really used in Europe, so yeah, not entirely historical. But what I did is, instead of using the M4A4 turret that had the extra armor here to protect the ammunition, I used the Firefly turret and just, you know, stuck on all the 75mm gun and, you know, all the bits that would be on a regular Sherman. And I also chose the Firefly hull, because the Firefly is not built on an M4A4. So I think it looks fine. I think it looks enough. And also the gun mantlet. I chose the Firefly one. So I think it looks enough like an actual sort of M4 A1 or late production something. I don't know. It'll be fine. This is nothing to say against Plastic Soldier Company. The kit is fine. It represents an M4 A4. It's just what I needed to do because I just wanted some regular Shermans. Yeah, and I've also primed the Stewards. I don't know how well you can see it on the camera. Maybe. So what I did is I primed them with I forget, US Olive Drab. I think it's a primer that Vallejo makes, and then I mixed in some purple Vallejo contrast paint into just the same primer, and then I sort of sprayed it, undersprayed it, so the opposite of a zenithal, and try to get it under the track wheels and under the body and stuff. And then I sprayed it again from the top with just Olive Drab. On the turret I did the same thing, and it's just to give it some shade. I might also do like a sort of a small zenithal highlight around the top, but I haven't really figured that one out yet. I'm going to figure that out when I do the Sherman, because there's a bit more room on the Sherman to do that sort of highlight stuff. And then they're going to get decals put on and washed and weathered and blah blah blah, and yeah, in the end it'll all come together and look nice, I hope. But yeah, so still working on these. I just wanted to show that the scale is really, really weird on these, and I don't know, I found it kind of annoying. It'll be fine for this project, but yeah, for anyone who else interested in 1/72, because I know you guys generally care very much about sort of scale and realistic figure proportions, and those are the most unrealistic machine guns that I've seen in a while. I mean, even sort of heroic scale 28mm doesn't have weapons this ridiculously big. All right, thank you very much for watching. Thanks for your comments as well. It's been a while since I've been here, so it's awesome to see that people are still willing to watch my videos. So thank you for that, and I'll see you in another video. Take care, guys.